Hey guys, what's up? It's your girl the Quinn here, and today I'm back with another exciting video. In today's video, I will be discussing with you how you can create configuration profiles in NVDA. Firstly, let me give you a little overview on what configuration profiles are. This is a feature that was added to NVDA in late 2013. With configuration profiles, NVDA lets users create different settings to be used in different situations and contexts. Specifically, NVDA settings such as the speech rate, the voice that is being used, some document formatting settings, and whether certain things like speaking typed characters or words are turned on or off, and so on. Whatever settings are in the settings panel of NVDA, you can change them for configuration profiles. The exception, of course, is the general settings, which can only be changed in the normal configuration profile. The normal configuration profile is basically that profile which is created when NVDA is installed. A configuration profile can be triggered by going into a certain program or application, or when using the say all command, or they can be activated manually. Here is how a triggered or automatic activation works. For example, a configuration profile for Firefox will be automatically activated when Firefox, which acts as the trigger, is in focus. And then, if the focus is changed to another application, the normal or its associated configuration profile will be activated. Here is an example of a situation in which you would create an application profile specifically for a program or an application. Say for instance you want NVDA to read faster with a different voice and no punctuations when browsing the web with Google Chrome, while for other applications it just uses the normal settings. Or maybe when typing up professional documents in Microsoft Word, you would want it to read all the punctuations and maybe even some formatting. These are just some examples, but you can also create configuration profiles for many other applications, such as Microsoft Excel, Microsoft Access, and so on. Also, you can create a say all profile which is activated when you use the NVDA say all command. That would be the NVDA key plus down arrow for users with the desktop layout, and the NVDA key plus A for users with the laptop layout. And remember, your NVDA key would be your insert or your caps lock depending on what you have it set as. For manually activated profiles, users need to activate it manually when it is needed. You can do this either by using the configuration profiles dialog, or you can actually use a keystroke to turn on or off the configuration profile that you have created. Alright, now let's get into how you can actually create configuration profiles. Okay, so if you're creating a configuration profile that should be triggered by a specific program, ensure that it's active. So I want to create a configuration profile for Notepad, so let me open it.
Start window, Cert N. Level 1 Notepad, Untitled Notepad, Text Editor Edit Multi-line Blank.
You can access the configuration profile dialog by going into your NVDA menu. So that would be your NVDA key plus N, then down arrow to configuration profiles, then press enter. Or you can just use first letter navigation by pressing C. You can also get directly to this dialog by using your NVDA key plus control plus P as in pot. So let me use that keystroke.
Configuration Profiles dialog. List. Left paren, normal configuration right paren, left paren, editing right paren.
Okay, so now we're currently editing the normal configuration profile. So remember that this is the profile that is created when NVDA is installed. So that will be the default profile. Remember, I wanted to create a new profile for Notepad. So we're going to tab to the new button.
New button Alt plus N.
Or you could have just used your Alt plus your N. Then press enter.
New profile dialog. Profile name : edit blank.
So here you can name the profile. If you're setting up a profile which will only be activated manually, type a name in here. However, if you're creating a trigger profile like a say all or application profile, you don't have to type in a name. So we'll just tab to the next option.
Use this profile for : grouping. Manual activation radio button checked.
I'm going to create a trigger profile in the form of an application-specific profile for Notepad. It will put you on the user's profile for radio button. The focus starts on manual activation. Now, in this list, you would use your down arrow to go through and select either the current application that you're on, or if you are creating a Say All profile, you will go on Say All. So let me down arrow till I hear Notepad.
Current application left paren, Notepad right paren, radio button checked.
Then I can either press enter on Notepad to create the profile or tap to OK and press enter there.
OK button. Untitled dash Notepad. Text editor edit multi-line blank.
Both dialogues are now closed and the profile is active. Now you can make any changes to NVDA settings that you want to use for the profile. So first I want to change the voice. There are two ways I can go into my speech settings. I can either go into the NVDA menu by using the NVDA key +N, then down arrow to preferences, enter, then enter on settings, and then down arrow to speech and tab through the options. Or I can just use this simple keystroke, my NVDA key plus Control plus V for voice.
NVDA settings : speech left paren, Notepad right paren, dialog, speech property page. Synthesizer grouping. Edit read-only multi-line Windows 1 core voices.
You realize that at the top there it says Notepad. That is because the Notepad profile is now active. You see why I said that you don't have to name the profile when it's going to be a trigger profile, because it automatically gives it the name of the application. Now let me go ahead and change the voice. So I'll press tab.
Change. Button Alt +A.
Then I'll press enter on change.
Select synthesizer dialog. Synthesizer : combo box Windows 1 core voices collapsed Alt +S.
Let me change it to speech API, and note that you can use both your up and down arrows in this list. So I'll up arrow to speech API and then I will tab and press on OK.
Microsoft Speech API version 5. Audio output device : audio duct OK button.
NVDA settings : speech left paren, Notepad right paren, dialog, speech property page, synthesizer grouping, change, button Alt +H.
Now let me change the actual voice itself. So tab to where it lists the voices.
Voice : combo box Microsoft David desktop dash English left paren, United States right paren.
Then down arrow to the desired voice. I think I'm going to choose Zira.
Microsoft Zira desktop dash English left paren, United States right paren.
Then after you find the desired voice, you can tab and go through and change the different options that you want to change in the speech menu. But that is all I want to change here. So I'm going to tab all the way to my OK button and press enter.
Rate : pitch : volume : automatic, punctuation, trust voice, include capital pitch, say cap, beep for cap, use spelling, OK button. Untitled dash Notepad. Text editor edit multi-line blank.
Now I'm also going to change some settings that you don't need to go into the dialog for. I'm going to turn off the speaking of typed characters. So I'm going to use my insert, which is my NVDA key, plus my number 2. This is the keystroke that toggles the speaking of typed characters either on or off.
Speak typed characters off.
So at the moment I have no typed characters and words being spoken. That means if I type the big blue dog right here, you won't hear anything.
Caps lock on. Caps.
Now let me read the line so that you can hear what I have typed.
The big blue dog.
And there we go. Now let me launch a different program, let's say Microsoft Word. You'll be able to see that my speech settings have changed and I can now be able to hear my typed characters.
Start window. W. Word. Document 1-Word. New grouping. New grouping. Microsoft Word document edit multi-line page 1 section 1 blank.
There you go, you realize that the voice has gone back to one core. And if I type here, you can hear what I am typing.
Caps lock on. Cap A-E space B-I-G space B-L-U-E space D-O-G.
And there are so many other changes that I could have made here. And anytime you want to change the settings for a trigger or application profile, just go into the application that triggers the profile, and then you can go into the NVDA menu and change the settings that you want to change. But now let's get into manually activated profiles. First, let's close Notepad.
Star untitled
dash Notepad. Text editor edit multi-line the big blue dog. Notepad dialog. Do you want to save? Don't save but press.
Document 1-Word. Microsoft Word doc.
Now let me go back into my configuration profile dialog. So that's your NVDA key plus Control plus P as in pot.
Configuration profiles dialog. List. Left paren, normal configuration right paren, left paren, editing right paren.
And I'm back in my normal profile because Microsoft Word does not have a configuration profile. So now I'm going to create a manually activated profile. So let's tab to New.
New button Alt plus N.
And press Enter.
New profile dialog. Profile name : edit blank.
And remember that I said you will need to name the profile if it's a manually activated profile. So let's name this profile Test.
T-E-S-T.
Then tab.
Use this profile for : grouping. Manual activation radio button checked.
And make sure that it's selected on manual activation. Then tab to OK. And press Enter.
OK button. Manual activation dialog. To edit this profile, you will need to manually activate it. Once you have finished editing, you will need to manually deactivate it to resume normal usage. Do you wish to manually activate it now? Yes button Alt plus Y.
And that's pretty self-explanatory, so I'm going to press Enter on that Yes button to create the profile.
New Document 1-Word. Microsoft Word document edit multi-line page 1 section 1 the big blue dog.
Now for this profile, I'm actually going to change the speed rate. So I'm going to go back into my speech menu. So Insert plus Control plus V for voice.
NVDA settings : speech left paren, test right paren, dialog. Speech property page.
Then I'm going to tab to rate.
Change. Voice : rate : slider 55 Alt plus R.
So I'm actually going to increase the rate. In the NVDA menu, you can use either your up or your right arrows to increase the slider or your down or your left arrow to decrease the slider. So let me increase the rate a bit.
56, 50, 63, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75.
And I'm going to change the pitch as well. So let me tab to that.
Rate boost checkbox not checked Alt plus T. Pitch : slider 50 Alt plus P.
Then down arrow to decrease it.
49, 44, 40, 40, 40, 40, 39, 38, 37, 36.
And once you're finished, you can tab once again to OK and press Enter.
Volume : automatic, punctuate, trust, include, capital, say cap, beep for cap, use spell, OK button. Document 1-Word. Microsoft Word document edit multi-line page 1 section 1 the big blue dog.
And there you go, it has been changed. Now let me open my Start menu.
Start window, search box edit blank.
You realize that nothing changes. I'm still using my test profile. That is because I have not manually deactivated it, so it's still in use even though I came out of Microsoft Word. And if I open Notepad, you would realize that it changes to the Notepad profile.
Notepad.
Untitled -Notepad. Text editor edit multi-line blank.
This is because with NVDA, other profiles can still be triggered while a manually activated profile is active. However, if a setting that is deactivated in the trigger profile is activated in the manually activated profile, the setting in the manually activated profile will override the setting in the trigger profile. However, the settings in the trigger profile that have not been changed in the manually activated profile will still work. For example, remember that we disabled typed characters in the Notepad profile, but we did not disable it in the manually activated profile. So if I should start to type
TAE space DOG space IS space BLUE,
you realize that it says the typed characters. Now let me close Notepad.
Document 1-Word. Microsoft Word document edit.
And now I'm going to deactivate this test profile. So use your NVDA key plus your Control plus your P to open the configuration profile dialog.
Configuration profiles dialog. List. Test left paren, editing, manual right paren.
You'd realize that it puts you on the test profile because that's the profile that is currently active. Then press Tab.
Manual deactivate button.
And here is where you would press Enter to deactivate it.
Document 1-Word. Microsoft Word document edit multi-line page 1 section 1 the big blue dog.
And there you go, you see that it has gone back to that one core voice again. Now there's actually a way for me to manually activate this profile using the keyboard. But I would need to create a keyboard shortcut for it. Note: before we get into creating a keystroke to activate your profile, you would have to ensure that the keystroke that you are using is not already in use by NVDA. You can do this by first going into input help mode, so using NVDA key plus the number 1.
Input help on.
Then press the combination of keys that you want to use. And if you hear a description from NVDA, for example,
NVDA plus C, reports the text on the Windows clipboard.
that means you cannot use that keystroke. But if you press a keystroke and it does not give a description, that means that that keystroke is safe to use. So let's try my NVDA key plus my number 0.
NVDA plus 0.
And there you go, you realize that it doesn't give me a description. So that means that it's safe to use. It is also important to note that it's best to use keystrokes that involve your NVDA key. This is because the application may already have that keystroke in use and input help mode will not announce that to you. Now I'm finished deciding which keystroke I want to use for the manual activation. So let's exit out of input help mode. So use my same insert plus 1.
NVDA plus 1. Input help off.
Now I'm going to create a keyboard shortcut for my test profile. Therefore, I need to go into my input gestures dialog. So go into NVDA menu with NVDA key plus N, then go down to the preferences menu and press enter.
NVDA menu. Preferences sub-menu P. Settings.
Then down arrow to input gestures and press enter.
Speech dictionary, punctuation, input gestures. N. Input gestures dialog. Tree view. Level 0 Braille collapsed 1 of 18.
Then press tab, or you can use your first letter navigation, which would be C, until you hear something called configuration profiles.
C. Configuration collapsed 3 of C. Configuration profiles collapsed 4 of 18 level 0.
Then you would expand it using your right arrow.
Expanded. 3 items. Level 1 activates or deactivates the notepad configuration profile 1 of 3.
Now use your down arrow until you find a profile that you want to create the keystroke for. In my case, that would be my test profile.
Activates or deactivates the test configuration profile 2 of 3 level 1.
Now let's add a gesture to it. So press tab to the add button and press enter.
Add button Alt plus A. Unavailable. Tree view. Level 2 enter input gesture : 1 of 1.
Here is where you would press the keystroke that you would want to use to activate it. Remember that I decided to set mine as the NVDA key plus the number 0. So let me press that keystroke.
Context menu.
I just pressed the keystroke and a context menu came up. Now let's down arrow to all layouts because that is what I want. I want this keystroke to work on both the desktop and laptop layout.
NVDA plus 0 left paren, laptop keyboard right paren, N. NVDA plus 0 left paren, keyboard, all layouts right paren, N.
Then press enter.
Input gestures dialog. Tree view. NVDA plus 0 left paren, keyboard, all layouts right paren, 1 of 1 level 2.
Now close the input gestures dialog by tabbing to OK and pressing enter.
Remove button Alt plus reset to factory default OK button. Document 1 - Word. Microsoft Word document edit multi-line page 1 section 1 the big blue dog.
Alright, so now I'm going to activate the test profile using the keyboard this time. So I'm going to use the keystroke that I just created. So that's NVDA key plus the number 0.
Test profile activated.
And there you go, it now says test profile activated. And you realize that the rate and the pitch of the voice has changed. To deactivate the test profile, I would use the same keyboard shortcut that I have set for it. So that would be my NVDA key plus my number 0.
Test profile deactivated.
And there you go, it has deactivated it. Now, one last thing before I end the video. Say for instance you decide that you no longer need the profile that you have created. There is a way to delete it. First, use your NVDA key plus your Control plus your P to go into the Configurations Profile dialog.
Configuration Profiles dialog. List. Left paren, normal configuration right paren, left paren, editing right paren.
Then use your down arrow to find the profile that you wish to delete.
Notepad.
Once you're on that profile, you will tab until you hear the delete button.
Manual activate button. New button Alt plus N, rename button Alt plus R, delete button Alt plus D.
Then, you'd press enter to delete.
Confirm deletion dialog. This profile will be permanently deleted. This action cannot be undone. OK button. Configuration Profiles dialog. List. Left paren, normal configuration right paren, left paren, editing right paren.
And there you go, the profile has been deleted. And as you heard, you can also rename the profile if you so desire. Also note that if you did not create a keystroke to activate and deactivate the manually activated profile, you can also activate it by going into your configuration profile dialog, then using your down arrow to select that profile that you want to activate, then tabbing to the manual activate button and pressing enter. But now we're finished, so let me just close this.
Document 1-word.
A quick note before we go. For the say all profile, you can have, for example, your eloquence or whichever synthesizer you have for your normal profile. But you can actually use a high quality voice, like maybe even the one core voice to read stuff using the say all command. You can even change the speed rate and set it to read less punctuations. Well, that is it for this video, guys. I hope you learned a lot about configuration profiles today. If you have any questions, be sure to leave them down in the comment below, and be sure to comment to let me know what you think about this video. Also be sure to like and subscribe if you're new, and turn on that notification bell to be alerted when I post the next video. I'll see you guys later. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.